Today on Dad Hut, we're going to be taking a look at 3 options for your Nintendo Switch controllers. Which one's best? Let's find out. What's up everybody? Welcome back to Dad Hut. Today we're going to be taking a look at 3 different controllers at 3 different price points for your Nintendo Switch to find out which one is best for you. So I've tested all 3 of these controllers for multiple hours, and I'm going to give you my opinion on which one I think is best. And let's jump right into a quick unboxing of the EasySMX 9124. So right away when you open the box, you can tell this looks really close to an Xbox controller. And if you closed your eyes and I put that in your hand, you'd probably say it's an Xbox controller. It has the look, the feel, the build quality. It is a lot like an Xbox controller for your Nintendo Switch. This controller comes in at a price point of around $30 to $35, which is right in the middle of the 3 controllers that I'm going to show you today. But it comes with the most features, and to be honest with you, is probably the best controller of the 3, in my opinion. This controller comes with tons of features. It's got the programmable Pro buttons on the back, which are normally found on some of your high-end controllers. It's got LED lights in the buttons. It vibrates, it rumbles. It's got a gyro. It's got turbo buttons. I mean, it has a lot of features that you would see in a high-end controller into this $30 to $35 price point. The battery life is pretty good too. It runs for about 15 hours straight on a single charge, so as long as you're keeping up on your charges, you should be okay there. This does connect very easily to your Nintendo Switch. You just go into pairing mode and the Nintendo Switch will immediately find it. It also has the blue lights to let you know which player you are. So if you're player 1, 2, 3, or 4, the lights will coordinate with that. As far as feel goes, the buttons are very responsive. Again, it reminds me so much of an Xbox controller. The D-pad is smooth and feels really good. The sticks are really great. They feel, I guess, a little light, but again, I always felt Xbox was a little light as well, so it feels very similar to them. So if you like that, same thing with the trigger buttons. Again, I hate to keep saying similar to Xbox, but it is. It's almost like they took an Xbox controller and made this controller for Switch. So now let's talk about this PowerA enhanced wired controller. And this is probably from the most popular third-party controller maker for Switch, PowerA. And this here is the Legend of Zelda version, which again looks just amazing as it is. Someone being a big Zelda fan, that is a huge plus. The controller itself weighs almost absolutely nothing. Maybe you would find that to be a good thing, but for me, it's not. It feels really cheap because it feels so light. I mean, I'm talking like it feels like there's nothing in your hand at all. And I assume a lot of that has to do with it being a wire controller, that it doesn't have a rechargeable battery that's weighing it down inside. But I like a little bit of weight to the controller, and this has absolutely none. Besides that, it's okay. You know, it's not the greatest feeling controller in the world, but it's certainly not the worst. It's definitely usable. And it does have programmable buttons on the back. It has 2, so you can program some buttons on the back, which is a nice feature. But for me, the biggest thing is that this one has to be wired, and this comes in at around $20 for the wired version. If you want the wireless version, you're gonna have to go up to around $40 or $45. And for me, I'd rather stick with the EasySMX at that price point. So, and save a little bit of money. So the PowerA, while it is one of the most popular and one of the most affordable, especially when you look at a wired option, and you know, they do have that, you know, IP, you know, Zelda, Mario, and they can put all those things on there. So as far as look goes, you know, you're not gonna be able to compete with that unless you go to Nintendo or for PowerA. But as far as a controller goes, certainly can pass with it. But if you play the Switch a lot with a controller, you're probably going to want to upgrade to something a little bit nicer. Last and not least, let's talk about the Joy-Cons. And what can I say about the Joy-Cons that hasn't already been said? They're super innovative. When I first, you know, played a Switch many years ago, having that in my hand, it felt really cool. It was amazing that they were able to do this. Several years later, I hate the Joy-Cons. The Joy-Con drift, everybody knows about that. It's just a pain. And yes, all of the Joy-Cons I've ever had eventually get the Joy-Con drift, which basically makes them useless. And it's unfortunate. And these come in at like $80, which is crazy amount of money for something that you constantly have to replace because of this Joy-Con drift. Now, using them with the little attachment that you get with a Nintendo Switch is not terrible. It certainly is usable, but I mean, I would rather hold any regular controller over using this method. The Joy-Con buttons are really small. You know, the feel is very awkward in your hand compared to a regular controller. These were obviously meant to be put on the Switch and played in handheld mode. So, and for that, they're perfect when they work. You know, when they're not, you know, doing their Joy-Con drift thing, having them connected to your Switch, I mean, it's freaking awesome that you can just go on, you know, a plane or wherever and just play video games. I mean, that's kind of the whole beauty of the Nintendo Switch. But them controllers as themselves, they're the worst. I can't see a reason to use them unless you actually have them attached to the Switch. If you're playing on a monitor or you're playing on your TV or something, get something else. You're gonna be much happier, but you probably already know that. Okay guys, so that's it for today. Those 3 Switch controllers coming in at 3 different price points. I do like the SMX. I thought that was a really good controller for a really good price. But even the PowerA is going to be much better than using the Joy-Cons when you're using it on your TV or your monitor. I hope this video helped you out. If it did, give it a like, thumbs up, subscribe to Dad Hut so you don't ever miss any of these videos, and I'll see you on the next one, guys.